On the 10th of May 1940, Germany invaded their neighbor, the Netherlands, resulting in a nearly 5-year-long lasting occupation. During these 5 years of occupation, the Netherlands gained and lost a new country within their kingdom. For less than 24 hours, one story of the Ottowa Civic Hospital maternity ward in Canada became an extraterritorial part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. This is that story. It is the early morning of the 10th of May 1940 when German soldiers simultaneously crossed the borders with the Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg. What many had feared in months prior had become reality. The Nazi regime had come to occupy their countries. During the First World War, the Netherlands had held a neutral position, which had been respected by the fighting parties, unlike their neighbor Belgium, who had also opted for neutrality, which was violently crossed. When almost 25 years after the First World War, Britain and France declared war on Germany after their invasion of Poland, the Netherlands opted for neutrality again. This time, Adolf Hitler had different plans, however. The Netherlands were not just of great strategic importance in Hitler's war against the United Kingdom and France, but Adolf Hitler had a high regard of the Dutch as well. He thought of them as part of the Aryan master race, and the idea to incorporate Holland in the Greater German Reich had been fundamental in the Nazi ideology. The Dutch, however, did not think the same for the most part. Although National Socialism or Fascism was around in Dutch politics, like in any European nation at the time, it never took off big like in Germany or Italy. Of the nearly 9 million inhabitants the Netherlands had during the German invasion, only 32,000 were members of its NSB, or National Socialist Party. At its peak, the party held only 4 out of the 100 seats in the Dutch parliament. In short, their presence was neglectable. The Netherlands had little means of defense, however, since it was counting on neutrality and had not been in a serious war since Napoleon over 100 years earlier. Their men had little experience and they had to work with outdated material. They did have high spirits and natural defenses, however. By flooding parts of the land and with high fighting spirit, the small country held on for 5 days, even though the Germans were expecting a swift one-day win. One day prior, the Germans had bombed the Netherlands' second largest city of Rotterdam. During the air raid, the entire city center was ruined and over 900 people lost their lives. The Germans threatened to do the same to Utrecht, The Hague and Amsterdam, and so the Dutch, led by General Winkelmann, capitulated on the 15th of May 1940. By this time, the entire government, including the royal family, had already fled the country. The government in exile, officially led by Queen Wilhelmina I, had sought refuge in the city of London. London was fast becoming the new political capital for the Western Allied nations and nations of occupation. From this point, the government hoped to strike allegiances and retake their country from German forces. The reigning queen, Wilhelmina, had a daughter, Juliana, who was the heir apparent of the throne to the Kingdom of the Netherlands. She already had 2 small children at the time of the invasion. After the armistice and capitulation of France, the Germans aimed for the United Kingdom next in their ravaging European campaign. The Germans relied heavily on aerial warfare to bring the British people down on their knees. London, the refuge of the exiled royal family and government of the Netherlands, was under constant bombing or threat thereof. To therefore secure the line of throne of the Netherlands, Queen Wilhelmina sent her daughter, Crown Princess Juliana, overseas to the much safer country of Canada. As the war raged on, the years passed. The Dutch government stayed in London with their Queen Regent, while the Crown Princess was safely tucked away in Canada. As war raged on, life also continues, and so by 1942, in the second year of the Dutch occupation, their crown princess had gotten pregnant for the 3rd time. As her due date neared, the princess was facing a problem, however, a problem which resulted in the tiny country of the Ottowa Civic Hospital maternity ward. By the Dutch constitution, any heir apparent of the throne cannot be born on foreign soil. And thus came the problem. If their 3rd child would be born, they would not have any claim to the throne if born in Canada. But flying back to give birth in a Nazi-occupied Netherlands also did not seem like a good idea. And so the Canadian government and an army of lawyers came to the rescue. The place where the child would be born would temporarily be granted the status of extraterritorial land. It was technically no man's land. During the delivery, the maternity ward would not be part of any country. Technically speaking, therefore, under the Dutch constitution, the child would not be born on foreign soil. She would simply be born on soil. If that does not make any sense to you, it does to no one, like many things royals tend to do. Juliana successfully gave birth to her daughter Margaret on 19th of January 1943, and the Ottowa Civic Hospital maternity ward soon became Canadian again. After the war, Juliana became Queen of the Netherlands. She reigned until her first daughter, Beatrix, took over in 1980, whose firstborn son sits on its throne currently. After the war, the Netherlands sent Canada a thank you in the form of 100,000 tulips. Besides turning hospitals into countries, the Dutch royal family was riddled with problems during the Second World War. The people were not happy with their government fleeing the country the minute German boots set foot on soil. Besides that, the Crown Prince of the Netherlands, Juliana's husband, was a German aristocrat and therefore mistrusted by the people. Not completely without reason, as much later turned out. Crown Prince Bernhard had been a member of the Nazi Party and the SS. We might cover this in an upcoming video, so feel free to subscribe. For now, thank you for watching and see you next time in history.